All right, so welcome to Friends with Fear. This is a podcast where we're going to talk about things that make us pretty much terrified. I mean, what else is there to talk about besides fear when we're on a podcast, Friends with Fear? So, anyways, the first episode that we're doing right now, we're gonna do clowns. You know, everyone's afraid of clowns. You can ask your neighbor. You can ask your mother. They're definitely afraid of clowns. It's just a known fact. Are you afraid of clowns, Karch?
I'm scared of clowns, dude.
Anyways, I'll introduce my co-host. You know, we got too many of them, but all my friends wanted to do this with me because I'm so cool.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So I got the guy talking over me, Karch Gilo.
Hello.
I got Joe Krebs, who's out there somewhere. And then I got Devin Knupp, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, it's me.
Anyway, so the reason I wanted to make this podcast, I suppose, is like fear is something that I think about a lot because I'm afraid of everything. Pretty much every day in my life, I go through something that makes me scared. So I wanted to try to understand my feelings more. And so discussing that with my friends, what a better way is there to do it besides that? So that's why I decided to make this podcast. And they agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we.
All right, let's do the podcast.
We're already doing it, Joe. You're recording, right? All right. Anyways,
it's a bit.
So
it's a bit in this bit right now.
In the bit. All right. So we're gonna talk about clowns because it's a nice, easy first episode topic. You know, pretty broad.
This is a nice one. I was freaking terrified of clowns when I was younger, and I still kind of am really standoffish, especially to clowns, one, but two to basically people that I can't just see their real face. Okay, like Chuck E. Cheese. No thanks, man. No thanks. They have the big fucking banjo stuff going on up on stage.
The animatronics.
I'm sitting back at the table eating pizza.
Not like human life then.
Well, has that been amplified?
That's not
I know it's not like.
It's not a clown.
Yeah, I know, but it's
similar
to clowns. I mean, how often do you
thing.
I don't ever go to circuses.
That's the most interesting thing about.
I'm relating it. Kinda.
I think the clown fear is you don't really ever deal with clowns. They're not like a threat. And when's the last time you've seen a clown? Just think back and think about, that was my last interaction with a clown. I don't even have one because I don't.
I do.
Yeah, I did.
Really?
Yeah.
If you have
Tell
those
me
interactions.
I was in grade school. I went to my dentist for a checkup, and for some reason, my dentist thought it'd be a good idea to have a clown walking around. Just
dear Lord, that's like two fears.
blown up balloon. No, this I think it was a female actually. She was walking around and she was in legit clown outfit with the face paint, just blowing up balloons and giving out balloons to everybody.
So number one, you're going to the dentist, which kids already hate.
Very nerve-wracking.
This dentist is like, hey guys, really need to shake things up.
I'm gonna make it worse.
I'm gonna traumatize these children today.
I think I got a solution. You know what kids love as much as the dentists? Clowns.
Realistically, that works though. You know, because kids hate the dentist and kids probably hate clowns. So,
but I think she did a pretty well job on making herself not terrifying, because she was very kind to everybody, and anybody she talked to, she would give a balloon to. She would make whatever you asked for. She would make it. It's pretty impressive. She made a mermaid out of balloons.
Really?
It was wild. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Is that what you asked for, Karch?
No, I asked for a Mario.
A Mario.
That was too much. That was too much.
Give me that Mario.
And she didn't know who it was.
Oh.
She didn't know who it was.
Nah.
Did she have face paint and everything on?
She did, and that was that was the scariest part about her. I think that's about all clowns is the face.
No, that is that. Yeah.
Because other than that, she was fine. But you see the face paint, and you're like, this is kind of scary.
Well, because it's okay. Part of it is surreal, because you don't know, it's like somebody wearing a mask almost, you can't see that person's actual face.
I think there's a bit of maybe Uncanny Valley where it's
that's actually
correct.
That's actually one of my elusive talking points.
All right.
Whoa.
Fine.
The Uncanny
I'll
Valley.
just get this out of the podcast.
Yeah, but here,
keep it. It's fine.
No,
I'll tell you. I was gonna going off of what Karch said. I was just gonna tell you my last experience.
Yeah, sure.
It was actually very recently. It was in October, at the end of October, around Halloween.
No,
and
they come out.
My girlfriend and another couple friends decided that going to a haunted house would be fun. And so we went to, I know, I was absolutely against it the entire time. And so we went there, and whenever I get nervous, I talk a lot. So the entire experience, like 45 minutes or an hour or whatever of walking through this haunted maze was basically just like clowns laughing and yelling at me to shut the hell up. So that was my last experience with clowns. I was terrified the whole time. I hated it. I was completely drenched in sweat afterwards. I had to like bring a change of clothes with me next time because we went out to dinner afterwards, and I was just like, I had to leave like 2 of my 3 layers in the car because.
Isn't that interesting that, my story is on the side of a clown that's trying not to be scary, but your side is clowns that are trying to be scary.
I feel like that's where clowns have settled into. Now they're actively scary instead of incidentally scary.
Like
Right? Yeah.
Which that movie just came out recently.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's a great talking point.
A lot of I was reading about clowns prior to this recording, and apparently that's when it came out in like '86 or whatever. That's a lot of people think that's like
that movie came out in '86.
No, the book came out in '86.
Oh.
And people sometimes like it's like one of the things that like clowns started changing to this scary thing instead of like this just weird thing that was around. Because like first time clowns were in popular culture like a lot was in like in the '50s with your boy Bozo the Clown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's the '60s, and
the classic.
Everyone watched that little TV show. It was really weird. That clown was terrifying. If you look up Bozo the Clown, that is like a pinnacle of clown fear for me. Like that guy strikes terror into my heart. Not really, because I'm not actually afraid of clowns. But it's a little weird.
God, he's terrifying. Yeah, he's got the
but
big
kids loved him.
Raised cheeks.
So he was like family friendly. And then it came out and started ripping kids' arms off in the sewer. And maybe people were like, hey, maybe strange men wearing crazy outfits and face paint aren't really that cool.
Well, because you also have those like CSI episodes and stuff like that where like doing like at a kid's birthday party and then mom turns her back and then all of a sudden clown picks up a kid and sprints out the front door into a van kind of thing. And like, they're making like crime thrillers, not even like, mainstream movies, but like crime thrillers, just like a 30-minute episode about, like still you getting it in smaller doses too.
CSI Miami.
What about something like that, American Horror Story? That one season with that clown.
I've stayed away from that entirely just because of that.
I think that is like the ridiculous, over the top, like, oh, this is like a scary clown. At that point, it's kind of like scary, not for being a clown, but just because it's like a freak of nature and it's scary. Yeah, just in a clown outfit. I mean, the dude has like a fake metal mouth on because he blew his mouth off or something.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, we get it. You're trying pretty hard here. Yeah,
got it.
Edgy,
I don't think American Horror Story is really that good, which a lot of people might not be happy to hear that.
I
haven't watched it.
I haven't watched a lot of it, but it wasn't that entertaining. It was more like
it's like a soap opera that tends to be scary, and I'm just like,
yeah,
really. Basically. Yeah, I realistically now I'm thinking about it, I don't actually know what that show's even about, but
it's about Americans.
Each season's different.
It's about Americans and
Americans and whores. Oh, wow.
It's kind of like if you've seen any of the old pictures that are like people floating or people with holes in their chest, it's kind of that aesthetic. Like that series was about a circus show.
Yeah, freak show.
Yeah, a freak show essentially.
Oh, yeah.
I think their advertising is more entertaining and cool than their show is.
I would agree.
Yeah, the commercials, I'm like, holy cow, this is wild. Like,
this is wild.
It all looks. I don't even know, but
it's just like it's like really creepy and unsettling, and then that vibe doesn't really transfer over to the show too well.
Well, yeah, because I mean, how you become habituated to that kind of thing, I would think. I mean, after a while, it's like, okay, like that's just big mouth clown guy, and instead of like scary clown, he becomes like, oh, that's Clarence or whatever his name is. And then
this is off topic, but why not?
It happens.
So like with the idea that something becomes less scary, like the more you're exposed to it. That's like my argument for like people like, oh, I want like a Darth Vader standalone movie. I wish we had more Darth Vader scenes and like in the new Star Wars remakes and stuff, like remakes or new movies, and new anthology stories.
I said that quote like last night basically when I was talking to some other guys. So yeah,
and it's like, but yeah, if you have more Darth Vader, he's just gonna lose his punch, man. He's not gonna be as scary. Like that scene in Rogue One is like the pinnacle, and it's like you've been waiting for this moment. And it comes, you're like,
you get those goosebumps. That lightsaber ignites, and you're like, oh, mama! Like,
and then you're like, but could I watch 2 hours of this and like have the same effect? I don't know.
It might be pretty boring if you get a whole movie.
I don't think it'd be boring. I think it'd just be like,
So yeah, because my counter argument to that is like probably because I don't know. I guess you'd have to talk to other people who don't like. Because I mean, I love Star Wars, looking at all that stuff. So like, Darth Vader has never really been like, oh, he scares me kind of thing, you know. I've never seen him like as like that scary guy. So it's kind of more of like I don't think this like the scare effect has never really been there. So I think like my main argument, and I think some of the other people's main arguments, because like Karch said, he'd still be interested in it. Like it's more about like just wanting to see the pinnacle of power in that universe, like like just really flexing flexing their muscles, right? Exactly, as opposed to like because if they made like, let's all go to Planet Jedi and like only Jedis can go there, and you're just watching like all these Jedi fight. I mean, I'm not really as interested in the story, if I'm being honest with you here. I'm just looking for people throwing laser swords.
And Attack of Clones, that fucking pit gauntlet scene, and there's like 50 Jedis, and they like all get their ass kicked by droids, and you're like, I thought Jedi is supposed to be good. And it's
okay, yeah, that was dumb. I didn't like
that's
that.
pretty cool shit. And,
it's cool but like the difference is that like none of those Jedi were fighting each other, so it's like okay,
yeah, they were losing to droids, even more embarrassing.
Yeah, that's just I hate that, man. That was some dumb stuff. That movie killed so many good Jedi. My boy Kit Fisto, rest in peace.
No one knows who
love
that
him. I love him.
Yeah. There you go, Karch. Kit
Fisto. My favorite Jedi.
He's the green. Yeah, I know. He's awesome. He's the green guy.
90% of our 5 listeners are not gonna know who that is.
All right, well, that's fine.
We just went off on Star Wars.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, yeah. Sorry, we're talking.
It's fine. It's fine. It's all allowed.
Do we know the history of clowns?
I kind of, I read a little bit about the history of clowns. They're kind of like, it started in like a line of jesters,
Yeah, that's what I looked at.
But then they decided to get like even more anonymous, so they could like even, because jesters are supposed to like make fun of the king without worry.
Right.
They just kind of exempt. And then clowns are like, so they're kind of been around for a long time, in some iterations, some form or another, but mostly it's like the recent last like 200 years circus clown is what people refer to as.
I have a question then. Is clown school a real thing? Because like people always talk about like going to clown school, but like, is that an actual thing? Like, do you actually?
I mean, I assume that you can't just like wake up one day and be like, I'm a clown.
Why?
Because you probably like a skill set. I just Googled clown school, and there's top clown schools in the U.S. Yeah. I'm already applying.
I'm already at a website that I can apply to.
I'm applying right now.
It's
basically like learning theater.
Become what you fear the most.
I need a degree or a license to clown on people.
Clown college, dude.
That's the people. Listen. If I go out and I learn to juggle, and then I just like deck my face out in paint and put on some like neon clothes, you tell me I can't go out there and.
I mean, no one's stopping you from becoming
clown
like...
society. Well, I'm not doing it. I'm telling you right now.
You can do it. It just won't be legal makeup.
It just won't be legal.
Yeah.
No, it'll be
you'd be in trouble with clown school.
Yeah, it's an illegal clown
school. Wait, do I get sued?
I don't know. I'm not a clown.
I don't think clowns have a legal body.
I would take offense if you were impersonating.
I think clowns. You're appropriating.
At what point am I not? At what point am I not impersonating though?
I think there's a certain like kind of a hierarchy when it comes to clown, right? Like, you go to school to become a high class clown, and if you look at someone that didn't, right?
It's like you can tell a difference. So like, this is an amateur clown, and here's my professional clown.
Yeah, sure.
And I think I'm gonna be entertained by the professional clown.
I guess that's true. I guess I get what you're saying. I don't know.
And then like they have like class reunions, and they all show up in one car.
Louise,
they all just pile out.
That'd be amazing.
That's how clowns operate.
Carpooling. Carpooling, so efficient, saving the planet.
That's right.
Clown carpool.
That's actually a pretty great gag. I have to say that gag overall, I enjoy it.
SNL, if you're listening.
SNL, bring that gag on next episode. When Dwayne The Rock Johnson's the host, I want him to be in the car.
Just him. Well, yeah.
Everyone else. Him and like 3 other like small midgets. That's all we can fit in there.
Yeah.
Too much. It'd actually probably pretty terrible.
This is trash.
Okay, so there's another famous clown in pop culture. You may know him as the Joker.
Yeah.
Batman's famous villain.
You know, I didn't even think about that. I guess
I could spend a lot of time with the Joker.
He's probably my favorite clown.
Right.
In pop culture. I would say a lot of people would agree with that.
I could give a loose origin story if you want.
Give us a quick loose origin story of the Joker.
Sure. So to shorten it very short, he was formerly a comedian that was struggling to make ends meet. If I remember correctly, he had a wife that was pregnant, and he was trying to make some money. He used to work at a chemical factory, and there was a gang that knew that he worked at a chemical factory, and they asked him if they could show him around inside the chemical factory so they can go in there and steal, chemicals out. And so they used him to get in, but whenever the cops showed up and also Batman, they ditched him, and he fell into a vat of chemicals, and that's why his face is completely white. That's why his lips are red and stuff like that. And that's kind of another reason why he kind of lost his mind, was because of all the chemicals that he ingested and was on him. So
shout out to The Killing Joke.
Yes, yeah, it's a great book.
And Jared Leto for doing an absolutely amazing job.
Jared Leto, everybody.
There you go.
Heath Ledger ain't got shit on me.
Method acting.
He's a very interesting character.
Yes,
just in comics in general, because he's an enemy that has no goal. He's like, I just want to cause chaos.
Yeah,
and I don't care about what happens.
That's another reason clowns can be pretty scary to people, is because the element of what's this guy gonna do, man? Right. This guy's unpredictable.
Yes.
This guy has no, he's loose cannon, because he's anonymous. They have the face paint on. They're like, it's kind of like they're protected, and it's like a mascot kind of thing. But
that exactly, kind of like what I was saying, like the whole identity thing, like not being able to see, like whenever, I mean, you guys know me, but whenever you see my face, you're like, oh, like that's Devin, like he's going to this school and like he wants to get this out of life, kind of thing, those things like that. School. Right? Yeah, I'm going to clown school to get my PhD in clowning, but like you see a clown, they put that makeup on, and it's like, I mean, it's somebody else. I don't know. Like you can't see the person's like true identity, quote, I guess, and you don't know their like motives. And so I feel like that's a big thing, is that like it just makes you uneasy, because like you can't tell right off the bat, like I know how to feel about this person, because it's like surreal, like you see some dude walking around in a suit with a briefcase, like, oh, he probably is like an accountant, I mean, that's probably like kind of stereotypical, but right. You see like a mom in a minivan with like 3 children in soccer uniforms, you're like, oh, they're probably going to a soccer game. But with a clown, you're like, what's this guy really doing right now?
Especially when he's out and about.
Yeah,
that's even weirder.
I've never seen that, and God help the clown that I see walking around.
Well, that's what people are afraid of. They're like, I'm gonna run into a clown in like the middle of the night somewhere, because there's been recent news stories about clown sightings.
Yeah,
that was horrifying.
Specifically in 2016, I think it was in like Carolinas. There's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
These guys just walking around in clown outfits, carrying like rubber machetes or something.
That stuff was actually like watching those videos was terrifying.
And then the funny thing is that then you hear stories of those clowns getting like beat up.
Oh yeah,
because they're scary people, and the people just react by just throwing fists.
I can't blame them.
I mean, I can't blame them either. You put this on yourself.
They're forcing people into a fight or flight situation.
Yeah, I mean,
like literally.
As somebody that would almost always choose the flight. I understand the fight.
I'm sorry,
I get you, but I'm running.
But on the flip side, I mean, you're gonna have those people who are like, no, I'm gonna beat this guy. Because I saw like one video of these, like it was like a bunch of teens, and they were driving around real late at night on like some back country road or something.
Those freaking teens, man.
And there was like a clown walking around, and he had like I forget what he had. He had like maybe like a goofy looking hammer or something. Anyway, they're driving around, and they like honk at him a whole bunch, and like he sees them, and he just stands there, and they drive past him, and as they're driving past him, he starts running and chasing after the car, holding his hands onto the window and stuff, and then they drive off, and then they go down that way, and then they end up turning back around, driving like back at him, and then he's like doing like come on motions or something like that, and so then they drive up to him. I'm pretty sure they either I don't think they hit him with the car, but the guy who's driving it drives up like right on top of him, gets out of his car, and then just like beats the shit out of this clown on the ground, and like they got like a dash cam, and this clown just gets his ass whooped, and then the guy just gets back in his car, they throw it in the reverse, and they get the hell out of there. And it's like, what is that guy asking for? He's dressed up as a clown, walking around on backcountry road. Like, what happens if nobody drives on that road?
It's gotta be sex related, man.
You just spent like 8 hours of your night walking around in clown get up in the back country streets of Carolina. Like,
it's got to be some kind of. It's just got to be sex, dude. They got to get off on it somehow. Otherwise, why would you do it?
I mean, a lot of people really enjoy the Halloween. Like, they love Halloween and being scary and making everything super scary. So it might be those types of people that dress up as clowns and go out and scare people, right?
I got a quick little story about a Halloween incident.
Okay.
I was, some people do like those at home haunted houses set at their garage.
Yeah.
So I was trick or treating in some neighborhood when I was like, I don't know, I was probably like 12. I wasn't that old, but we came upon one of those and we're like, sure, let's do this. So we go through it. It was garbage. Good effort, good try.
Sure.
But near the very end. There's like this guy laying on the ground, and I was like, "What is this thing?" I go up to him and I give him a little kick, and this person was alive. This person was a real person, apparently.
How old were you?
I was 12.
Okay.
I gave him a nice. It wasn't like a big kick. It was like a slight kick. Anyways, this guy gets pissed off at me, and he's like, "Who did that?" And I was like, "I just took off, dude. I took off." But then he comes running out of the haunted house after me, and I just kept going, dude. But it was like, what is this guy like freaking out about? Someone like tapping him with their foot. I don't know. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with this, but that's what happened to me.
I mean, I get what you're saying, like, kind of like along the lines of like, like, what are you expecting to happen, kind of thing. I mean, I'm sure you probably wouldn't expect him, but I mean,
basically that's where all my anxiety is rooted. Is that moment in my life? I'm just kidding.
Well, there is like that rule when it comes to those haunted houses and stuff. Where, like,
no touching. You
can't touch those people.
But I thought it was a dummy, dude.
I hate that crap, man.
I didn't know it was a real. I was like testing the waters, like as that kind of kick. As like it was like a nudge. It was like, this thing gonna jump up at me, or what is this? I was cautious, dude. I was in a haunted house.
I mean, yeah, that's.
Come on, dude. I didn't pay any money. It wasn't official.
The whole no touch thing, though. Like, okay, so going back to
Devin wants to be touched.
That I went to. Yeah, I mean, like haunted houses, strip clubs, like it's just bullshit. But I was walking through, and like, you can't like, defend yourself, whatever. Like you can defend yourself, but you get what I'm saying. But like a dude comes running up and he's got like a chainsaw and he's like revving the engine as loud as he can. It's dark and he like brings it up over his head. And I was holding the person in front of me's hand. And so like out of being scared, I kind of like backed away from him, but the person in front of me kept like walking forward kind of. And so our arms were like outstretched, right? So it was like a line in between us. And he like pretending like he was gonna like chop our hands in half with this chainsaw and like stop. But it's like, okay, listen. I mean, I'm one of the most conflict averse people you'll probably find, but there's gonna be somebody who's like, like you're gonna hit my, like, just that instinct that you're gonna hit my hand with like a chainsaw. Like people are gonna react to that stuff, and I feel like if I were to have
decked him.
Yeah, I mean, deck that guy straight up. Just deck that guy. I feel like I'm not really in the wrong per se. I say like maybe he's not in the wrong either, but like I don't know. That's a real gray area with that whole haunted house stuff because
listen, assault is not a gray area.
but he didn't hit us though. That's the thing. He brought it down and pretended like he was, and it got our hands to like detach because I was like, I'm obviously not gonna have my hand cut off by a chainsaw, and obviously there's no chain on it, but still, it's like. You get adrenaline going and darkness and like fog and some crazy dude running up and screaming at you and a chainsaw revving real loud and objects like flying at you. Yeah, it smells like gasoline. There's gonna be people out there I feel like that are just gonna there's a point when you're taking it too far, and maybe that's just me being a baby. All right, maybe I'm just being soft because I am soft. I'm a marshmallow, but
we're all soft.
Just marshmallows.
I don't know. Maybe Cartridge and soft. I don't know.
I mean, I don't go to that stuff.
Yeah, I've never been to a haunted house.
I probably never will.
Paid for.
I did, and I never wanted to again. And then October came around, and my girlfriend's like, "Oh, well, our friends want to go to a haunted house," and I told them that you would, and I was like, "Whoa, you didn't even ask me." And she was like, "Well, I figured I could just talk you into it," and I was like, "Well, I mean, I guess so, since we already said like we're gonna do this thing, so I guess we will." And I ended up enjoying myself, but
so. What's the moral of the story?
Yeah.
Maybe do
Don't
things
go
that
to
make you
houses.
uncomfortable. Get yourself out there. Have some fun and laugh.
Don't be afraid. Oh wait.
Wait. That's like that's like most of our podcast.
Yeah, we
Oh,
can't
no,
get to
dude,
that in
we'll-
the first episode.
We'll be out of business.
That's it.
We're out of business. This is the first and last episode of Friends with Fear. So.
But going back to Joker.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, sorry.
I here's another kind of comparison where it's like I think for Joker he's kind of that he's more about insanity and that type of stuff, while other clowns are more about scaring people. So I mean maybe his insanity is very fearful and that
Yeah, I don't
scares
know
people,
about
but
I was watching a playthrough of a game called Toonstruck, which is an old adventure game from the 90s. Christopher Lloyd is
oh my god, I know that game.
yes. Christopher
That game
Lloyd
is
put
stupid.
into a game. It's
Yeah.
no, it's actually like
Christopher Lloyd.
oh,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
The clown.
but no, but the point is that there's a clown on the title screen, and you don't actually see this clown until like 90% of the way through the game. But it is very much one of those like insane clowns that is unsettling. I wouldn't necessarily say scary as much as unsettling because I mean it's a 90s game, so it's
Right.
Really
graphics
is.
are-
Polygons.
yeah, the
Yeah.
graphics are what they are. But
Yeah.
it is again, it's that kind of insanity that I think you see with Joker. That
The fear
kind
of, like,
I feel like that is a lot of what clowns are, at least to me. That's what's
Yeah. You can't trust a clown. Can't trust a clown.
Yeah.
You can't trust a clown.
One second you're hanging out with a clown, the next second they're spraying you in the face with their flower on their lapel.
Yeah.
You can't trust a clown. They carry around bowling pins for some reason. What other clown gags are there?
Slipping on banana peels.
Balloons always.
Balloons a go-to.
flower,
Flower
That's
and
the,
lapel.
that's the classic
Great
it
water.
thing,
The
right?
seltzer bottle, dude.
the seltzer
Oh, yeah.
bottle.
The balloons are the classic it thing, though, right?
The red balloon.
The red balloons.
It is like it's like an amalgam of all the things that make clowns scary.
Yeah.
It's insanity. It's you don't know who this person is. It's super creepy and just acting unusual just because they can.
Well, and also the fact that it's like,
A monster. Yeah.
a monster. The fact that,
it appears as your greatest fear, right? So
Yeah.
whenever
And children are always.
and whenever he showed up, he's like, "Well, everyone's afraid of clowns when they're little, so I'm gonna be this super frightening clown." But
Mm.
I also know that even some of the main characters, he would change it to other stuff, like
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah, like change into like a leper for that one kid that has
Yeah.
like hypochondrianism or whatever.
The one girl that he changes into her actual dad because his dad's
Her dad's an abuser.
yeah.
Stuff like that.
So yeah, I mean, he's like a monster of fear. If you think
Yeah,
about
he
it.
is a monster of
He's-
fear. It's exactly what
yeah.
he is. He feeds on fear.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting though that he that they went with the base, like the like the base skin of clown.
Yeah,
I mean,
the it monster.
Right.
Everybody knows.
Pennywise is a clown.
Is the Pennywise clown, yeah.
yeah.
Which
Well, I
think says
got
something about the fear in general.
a IRL clown that is pretty pop culturally famous for being a terrible. This is kind of like John Wayne Gacy. I don't know if you guys know who that is. John Wayne Gacy is a famous serial killer. He killed about probably like at least more than 20 people. Buried them beneath his crawl space in his basement. Victims 33 to 34 victims.
Jesus Christ.
Very prolific serial killer throughout the 70s. He was
72 to 78.
famous for working as Pogo the Clown.
Yeah.
So John Wayne Gacy is American culture exposed to like a terrible thing that is a clown. And I mean, you look up pictures of him as a clown. It's
It's pretty
unsettling.
scary.
Well, yeah,
It's unsettling knowing
What
he-
he in the 80s, right?
Yes.
who did. It came out in the 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Pogo the Clown has been around,
In the
70s?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
he was doing stuff in the 70s.
I mean, he is a terrifying clown.
Jeez, yeah, it's not even
People love John Wayne Gacy, like his neighbors. Like, he was invited to birthday parties, entertain kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then-
he used this clown, right, to actually get closer to said.
I don't know. Does he actually? Is that true?
would
He stated
assume.
that acting as a clown allowed him to regress into childhood. Oh, never mind. That's not even exact. Whatever.
Which is still weird to say.
Yeah. That's
allowed him to regret. Jeez.
So
The
he
fact that he was
became
looking
known
to
as
regress.
he became famously known as the Killer Clown. That is his
Yeah.
nickname, even though he never killed as a clown. He just was seen around town.
I wonder if it's possible that some of that is what led to it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely
I wonder,
possible.
yeah.
I mean, this guy is freaking creepy, dude. I mean, just like he had 26 bodies underneath the crawl space of his home when he was arrested.
Clowns got a lot going against them, man. Sheesh.
Well, I mean, I don't think they
Dude.
deserve anything. You know, they're just. I don't think they're worthy, man. I don't like
I
them.
don't think they're worthy either. I
They
think
got
I
bad
think-
rep, you know. They're just kind of, you know, give people
But they
a good
deserve the
time,
bad
man.
rep.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, I don't think the people themselves per se, but I think like
I mean, what about
clowns in general? Like as a people, I think we're past it. All right, it was cool. It was cool, you know, for a while, and now let's start phasing clowns out of the.
So
out of the whole picture.
there's been some research done on clowns and particularly why they are scary. So the reason, like, first there's a study done about like what makes something creepy, and this study said unusual or strange physical characteristics. So basically exaggerated things. So like, you know, your clowns got the red nose, they got everything painted, they got the crazy hair. So that makes people unnerved inherently. It's just something like exaggerated. Makes people feel unnerved. And then any times of weird kind of tendencies. So like clowns are going to try to do things that make people like, you know, poke fun at people and make people uncomfortable. So that's going to lead to you feeling more creeped out. And then what Joe mentioned earlier, which is the uncanny valley, which uncanny valley is like the idea that I don't really know how to say it.
I got it.
Okay.
So the idea is that as things approach being fully human, it gets stranger and stranger. So I believe the robot's called Sophia.
Oh yeah.
Is
Yeah.
very, very much heavily in that uncanny valley of she is almost human, but there's enough that
Right.
kind of messes with her brain and says this isn't correct. And
Right.
it gets more extreme as you get closer. So like for example, a dog is nowhere near a human.
Right.
A dog with the human face, that's
Oh,
gonna
God.
start hitting that uncanny valley because it's like, it's not right and it's not quite human.
Well, like the reference to Star Wars again, the Rogue One with the Carrie Fisher and Peter Torkin, like the CGI versions of their bodies and stuff. That's a little bit past the uncanny valley because it's like not making you uncomfortable. But like if you like regress that a little bit more, it would be like this is kind of weird,
Yeah.
unsettling.
You talking about Star Wars like that too? As a kid, I didn't really like. I'm kind of piecing stuff together right now, but I was actually like afraid of C-3PO. Like I did not like C-3PO. R2-D2 totally cool. C-3PO, I was not
It's
about
weird.
it at all. And that's I mean, yeah, kind of going along with this. It's probably because he was like humanoid, but not like he had like human personality and human-ish face and humanoid body, but not human kind of thing, and that like really I guess freaked me out. I don't know, kind of.
I just remember another classic clown gag, dude. Pie in the face, dude.
Oh yeah. Pie in the face.
That's classic.
I got to pie a teacher in the face in high school.
That's like the go-to thing for like teachers now, isn't it? Like in high school, and
Getting
even
pied.
in college. Donate money to pie me in the face. It's like I don't really care about
Listen,
pieing you in the face.
but I mean, tick one off though because there's already one in my clown repertoire.
Yeah,
So-
you're ready. You're ready for clown school.
I'm
You got-
there,
you-
man.
You're getting there,
I'm
dude.
there.
You ask that teacher to reference you in your application.
How would you rate this pie in the face like on a professional level? Because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, okay, actually it'd probably be closer to an 8 because he
I
asked
give
me
it
not
5
to get
out of
any,
5 red noses.
He asked me not to get any on his shoes and I accidentally did.
Oh.
But-
Wait,
So
what
it-
teacher was
so-
this?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't exactly remember. It was a guy. He was real tall. He was real skinny. He had a beard and it was brown hair, glasses, beard.
That could be anybody.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember his name, but
Anyway, it doesn't matter. No one.
but so it was probably a little bit less. I could probably work on the technique, a little bit.
I mean, you first try though. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, first try, and I was like 17 at the time, so easy peasy, dude. I'm going for that doctorate, baby. I'm going for that doctorate.
Dang.
So like a
Yeah.
final clown that I remember particularly being something that really didn't fly with me. If you guys, I don't know, you guys maybe have seen the movie Poltergeist, classic Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
There's a famous scene where the son's clown doll like comes to life. It's just really, it's like combination of two things, creepy, unsettling doll, and it's also a clown.
Yeah, it's
Not a big fan of that one. I know it's in the remake too, but it's not as scary because
yeah, the one in the remake's bad because it like turns into like a bug. I think a centipede or something like that.
I don't know.
Maybe
I've never
not,
seen it. I
actually.
just saw
maybe,
it.
maybe not actually. I think I might have been thinking of Krampus. Maybe not.
Crib.
But that movie was.
But so like, it's like the 70s and 80s was like, let's change how everyone feels about clowns.
Yeah.
Let's make them awful.
That's a conspiracy theory against clowns. Oh yeah, it was Krampus. But sorry. Anyway, yeah, it's a conspiracy against clowns. You know,
Are you pro clown now, Devin?
I for one.
Are you a clown? Are you a clown activist? Are you?
So after the podcast, are you pro clown or anti clown?
I'd have to see a clown.
Leave
You
a
know,
comment.
I'd have to be like you know, have like do something with a clown, interact. That's what I'm looking for. Interact with a clown to
would
tell
have
if
to
I'm
learn to
pro
love
or not clown. But as of right now,
Can clowns even love?
as a clown myself, I am against clowns. So
As an amateur clown.
yeah,
Wow.
as an amateur clown, I am against clowns.
Bold statement.
Keep in
dude.
mind, he's not graduated from clowns.
Yeah, I'm still getting my prereqs done.
Yeah, prereqs and Shakespearean.
Which
theater
speaking of which, if any of you are willing to sign up to be candidates to possibly
seltzer bottle in the face,
spritz.
pie in the face.
Gotta work on my pie technique, spritz.
I gotta get limber enough to fit in the car with 15 other men.
I think I could actually probably already do that. I'm pretty flexible as it is right now, but honk
What?
my nose. I need to learn
Yeah.
how to juggle. I've tried to juggle.
Oh,
It's
juggling. That's a
garbage.
key clown technique. I think underrated.
Juggling is interesting because, well, I saw Ellen Page juggling a few days ago, and
Okay.
it was
Do
pretty
you, wait, do
cool.
you know Ellen Page?
No,
Uh,
don't. I wish I knew Ellen Page.
I wish I knew Ellen Page.
But the point
Me
is,
too.
like, I think juggling is kind of detached from clown dumb.
Oh yeah, it's definitely detached, but I think it's definitely a key part of the repertoire. You know, actually, a friend of the show, Corey Dodd, is known to juggle every once in a while.
oh, is that right?
Oh,
I
yeah?
didn't know he could do that.
He's
Does he
known
do
to-
any
he's-
other clowning?
He does not have any other clown. He's not a known clown as far as I know.
Okay.
You could do
That's
something,
good.
you know, he does in secret. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't asked him about it.
I contacted my people, and he does not have a license. So
He's not licensed. He's
I
not a
don't
licensed
believe-
clown.
Don't believe he is a clown.
He's not a clown. All right, I'm glad we got that cleared up. So, as we kind of wrap up our discussion of clowns here, I think we should talk about like kind of give them an overall rating of like I don't know. I'm kind of calling this the scare scale. I think that sounds pretty fun.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
Okay.
So before we talk about this, I'd like to just think about so with fear. I think all fears kind of have like this aspect of either they're a primal fear, which is like the idea that the fear is very natural and like almost genetic. Like the fear of heights, everyone's afraid of heights objectively before they overcome it, like when they're born, because like you're at a tall height, you're gonna fall. When you fall, you die. So that's like a primal type of fear of the dark because you can't see what's going on. And then I think the other aspect of that is the social human side of fear, which is like kind of like human constructed fear. So where would you guys think that clowns like kind of settle into on that idea of social versus primal fear?
I don't know.
Yeah, Karch, you go first.
It's hard to say because I'm a pro clown. I think thinking about it honestly.
Okay.
So pro clown is in you're for clowns, or pro clown is in you are a professional clown? Because
Sorry,
I'm
we
looking for references.
gotta be clear about this.
I'm
not
looking for
professional-
references. So
I'm not a professional clown, but I think they get a bad rep because of a couple bad eggs.
one of them has to
Stephen
murder
King.
30 people. Whatever.
So
People
what was
make
the
mistakes.
John Wayne Gacy.
what was the scale again?
So just like social humans like created fear versus like this is like a primal fear.
I want to say this is a human created fear. I
Okay.
think, yeah, because I feel like it was definitely like because it was originally something that was used to create joy and happiness and laughter, but
Mhm.
humans kind of twisted that into something that is terrifying and very scary when it's done in those ways. So yeah, I think it's a human created fear, definitely.
Okay. Anyone else want to chime in on this?
yeah, I can do it. I think this is tough because I don't know. I'm almost gonna go. I see your points, Karch, but I'm actually gonna go on the other side. I'm gonna think that it's just innate. I think you're.
Really?
I think it's more. I think it's not so much as through the generations. Like people have been forced into thinking that clowns are scary. I think more. I think it's more of just an identity thing. At least for me, I think that it's more of the fact that, like you can see that person, like I was talking about, the soccer mom or the businessman, like you can see that person's face and like what their purpose is, or you can have some kind of understanding into their ulterior motives. But when like they put the makeup on and they start doing, weird stuff, I don't know what on a deeper level, I'm no longer connecting with them like on a human basis, it seems like. And I think that's what really scares me the most. And I think it's more of just an identity based thing. I think it's more of just like a fear of the unknown kind of thing, where it's just I don't know what's going on here kind of thing. And so that uneasiness, I think, is what I'm going with.
Yeah, I have to agree with Devin on this one. I think that it's definitely, I would say, I think it's like a nice little fear that hovers in between both, that it's both fear of the unknown, what's this weird person going to do, and then the social construct of we turn this wholesome, fun thing into something creepy just because we like to think ourselves into a whirlwind, as humans are common to do. Joe, you have any thoughts?
I mean, yeah, that's more or less what I was going to say. Is I think a lot of the primal aspect comes from that fear of the unknown, and my struggle with saying that is I don't know. I understand how that is primal, because of course we'd be scared of what we don't know, and how much of that is on us to overcome it. Because I mean, I think it is pretty fair to say that at least on some level, fear of the unknown is also a human thing,
and also
that has been kind of propagated.
Yeah, like our animals really afraid of the unknown. It's arguable that no, they're more just like out for survival.
I've actually got something that I know we're trying to wrap things up here, but I've got something just like extra real quick with like, okay, that I'm thinking about now. Tribes, like indigenous tribes will like war paint, like that's a thing. Like people put on paint on their face to scare other people kind of thing, So I feel like that kind of can also maybe that I feel like that almost helps the social construct though, Like I mean, people put on paint to scare people, and therefore, like we as a society, I don't know. That's just something I thought of. But like paint has been used, not just for clowns, but also to like put fear into people during times of like war,
right?
Which I feel like could have something along the lines of
I don't understand that aspect of war paint. Does it actually do that, or is it just kind of like, does it scare people?
Well, I mean,
I'm sure it does to some extent.
People put like white contacts in whenever they play, NFL, or black contacts.
Oh yeah, I just realize,
it like freaks people out.
All right, so another aspect of kind of like I think all fears is like just how rational they are. So how rational do you think a fear of clowns is? You think it's well deserved, or do you think it's kind of like people need to get over it? Not that we don't respect everyone's fears on Friends with Fear, but
no fear shaming.
No fear shaming on this podcast.
Yeah.
But,
I get when people are afraid of clowns. I know a lot of people that are terrified of it, but I don't know. I mean, for me, it's like it's there's a separation. There's good clowns. I mean, they're kind of scary, but they're not going to kill you. And then there's the actual people that are trying to scare you when they become clowns. So I understand that. Right?
And then there's John Wayne Gacy, who is
then there's
going to kill you, and is also a clown.
Don't worry, everybody. He's dead.
That's an extraneous.
He was executed over 23 years ago. Nothing to worry about.
Right.
I agree with Karch. Clowns are a worthy fear. I don't personally have the fear, but I say that. But you put me in an empty alleyway and put a clown at the end of it. I'm gonna be pissing my pants. I'll be honest. I'll be scared. But objectively speaking, sitting here on my chair, I'm not afraid of clowns at this moment.
I am afraid of clowns. Objectively speaking, you put me not even in a dark alleyway. You put me in a well-lit home with plenty of people and a clown in the corner making balloons. I am staying in the kitchen eating food.
Not looking at that clown.
Not going in there.
Joe, how you feel about rationality of clown fear?
Rationality, I think, going back to the fear of otherness, I think it makes sense to have some kind of fear of that, and I'm gonna give it like a 5 for rationality, because it's pretty middle of the road. Like, I can understand why people would not be scared.
A 5 out of like a 10 scale? You're throwing out here? Okay. Yeah, I got you.
I can understand how people would be like, yeah, it's just a person in makeup, like whatever. But I can also understand how there's enough of that, again, that uncanniness that can make people go, oh, this is not.
I don't know what's going on here. Yeah.
Not my cup of tea. Yeah. All right, so
I don't like clowns. I'll say.
So So, yeah, well, that's fair. I feel like I would say a good 60% of American, at least, population does not like clowns.
I can't tell you a single person I've ever met that's been like, oh yeah, I love clowns.
Yeah,
Let's go to the circus and go interact.
Yeah, I
with
hope
clowns.
there's a clown at this event I'm
when,
going
when
to.
that stuff happened last year,
Yeah.
not a single person was like, "Oh, cool, clowns are
Right.
Cool.
Everybody was like,
Clowns are back,
"If I
baby.
see a clown, I'm killing him
Yeah,
with
clowns
my
are
bare
back.
They're
hands."
back.
Clowns are back in fashion. This is the '60s all over again. Let's do it.
Jeez Louise.
All right, so the scare scale, I've kind of set up it's kind of like I'm doing like a 1 to 4 rating here. I think that's nice because we're gonna do an average of what we think, and feel free to use decimals. So one being like not scary at all, and one's the lowest. You can't go below 1, so no 0.8s. One being like I'm not scared of this in any way. This is like I could deal with this every day of my life without anything wrong. And then 4 being, if I had to deal with this every day, I will probably either be locked up in an insane asylum or, severely traumatized.
So we're basing this on if we're experiencing this thing every day. That's what we're basing our criteria off of.
No, just like if I did experience this every day.
No, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Like,
if you were exposed to it just constantly and just
Like,
always
if
had to deal with it.
Every time
you
turned a corner, you ran into a clown. How would that?
I just feel like so for me, I had to put this at I put this at like a 1.7 at this moment. Like I'm not really affected by clowns.
Yeah.
Like in a well lit room, I'm fine. A clown could be anywhere. In a dark alleyway, a clown would obviously creep me out, but I think it's not because it's a clown. I think it's more because
situation.
alleyway,
Right.
freaking weirdo at the end. That's me. So 1.7, I'd say. I understand the fear behind it. I'm not particularly afraid of clowns. Don't worry. If you listen to more of these episodes of podcasts, you will discover that I'm afraid of a vast many things, but
Everything
clowns
else.
is not one of them. Thankfully. So, Devin, what's your ranking?
I'm probably gonna go. It's a 3 for sure.
Okay.
This one up at if I'm seeing a clown, I'm probably gonna put this one at for me personally, it's probably gonna be like a 3.8. I'm gonna go with a 3.8.
So pretty significant level of I don't want to be around.
I mean, it's not gonna be
almost phobia level.
Yeah. I mean, it's not gonna be like traumatized. I'm not gonna be if I have to experience a clown every day kind of thing. I'm not gonna be like lock me up to get me away from this. But at the same time, it's probably gonna have a pretty decent impact on my mental psyche because I don't like it at all, dude. Like face paint type stuff like that. No, I'm not about it. I don't like it at all. So,
Arch, how about you?
I'd give it like a 2. I think.
Solid 2 or just
I think a solid 2.
solid 2?
I think they're definitely pretty scary, but like you said, if it comes to a normal clown, if I'm in a well lit room, I could probably handle it pretty easily. But if you throw me in a dark room with the clown, who knows who's coming out?
I'm not making it out of
2 enter, 1 leave.
Exactly. So yeah, I'd give it a 2. I'd give it a solid, nice hard 2.
Joe?
I think I would say like 3.1.
3.1.
I don't have enough experiences with clowns to have like a founded yes,
That's
is
a good
exactly
point.
why I should be afraid of clowns. But I don't really want to. And if I just ran into a clown, I would not be there anymore. I would leave. I'd be like, no,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If I had to go that way, I'd be like, no, I can't go that way.
I think that a similar factor is kind of affecting my score too as to why it might be so high. Just because, I don't experience clowns very often, but the couple times I have experienced clowns, I'm not like, oh yeah, that wasn't so bad. Like pretty much every time I experienced a clown, I was like, I hated this.
That's not good.
We
not,
went
not a reaffirming experience by any measure.
Yeah, we went to a Ringling Brothers circus, and my parents, I'm pretty sure have it on video. It's somewhere, but we were sitting at a dinner table, and the clowns are making their rounds, and I had my menu up around my face so that maybe he wouldn't see me, and he still came over, and as soon as he came over to our table, I immediately started bawling my eyes out, and the clown was trying to cheer me up. My parents were like, no, just get out of here, and he's like, oh, okay. and he left. But like, I mean, it's like that's all it took.
At least
I
he
mean,
was a
just-
respectful clown at the very
Yeah,
least.
right. Yeah, at least he didn't try and force it.
Maybe that's where it's all rooted at, man. Maybe that's where it started for you.
Yeah, maybe, because I don't have any memories of clowns prior to that, but I also know, like...
That's actually your first memory in life. It's just...
I mean, because I had, like, going back to the Chuck E. Cheese type thing, like, my family, I had a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, and Chucky came out and was dancing with, like, the birthday kids, and my cousin Tyler, like, ran up and was like, dancing with Chucky, loved it. I was at the table crying in my mom's lap because I, like, was so afraid of, like, what was happening. Like, it was really deep-seated, so, like, I mean, you know, just a couple of experiences with clowns. And
all it takes, man.
House thing, but, I mean, it's, like, it's pretty deep-rooted, so... That could be affecting my score a little bit, but that's who I am as a person.
So we got an overall score of 2.65, which I think is a respectable number for clowns. I think it represents them pretty fairly. You know, the idea that they're kind of like you're not really running the clowns too often, so like it's not like going to be that big a deal to
Most
be afraid of them.
1/2 though, yeah.
So you can be terrified of clowns, and your everyday life will mostly be all right. You're gonna have some instances where. But you can actively avoid it without any hindrance to your overall enjoyment of life. So I think you know, as far as fears go, being afraid of clowns isn't the worst thing ever. So I would say
not the worst fear out there.
Not the worst fear out there. So if you're still listening to this podcast at this point, congratulations. Here we are. You made it amazingly. I'm proud of you.
You stuck it out. If you're one of those people with the 4.0 and you're here, you know, congratulations. You're working your way towards habituating yourself to clowns. You know,
amazing.
I mean, you know, we're talking about it. Still and we thank
I'm sure on future episodes we'll talk more about more intricate fears than clowns. So you can look forward to that and everything. But until then, I guess this is the end. This is the end of the podcast. So
the end.
We did.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Have a nice life.
Goodbye.
I hope you come back.
There it is.
Cut the mics.
Got the mic.
This is premium content for our
you gotta do this?
subscribers.
He's afraid. He's too nervous. If you can't do
let's
it,
give this thing a shot. So, you know, this is good.
There you go.
Quiet on set.
Alright, how should I do the intro?
God.
What do you guys think?
See, we literally told you to think about this before.
Alright,
I
welcome
told
to
you this on Sunday.
Alright, stop. I got it. Welcome to Friends with Fear. This is a podcast where we'll be discussing. Fuck this! I don't want to do this.
what's your issue? What's wrong with you, everybody?
Come on.